That's just unfeasible.
Right. My question with this is this an attempt to give everybody a chance because the season is going to be altered, or is this them thinking that they want to make up for last year's tournament? Like, what is the reasoning?
It's a little bit of both
this?
because
right.
they're not going to play a full 40-game schedule like they normally play this year. You're probably looking at, for Power Fives, you're probably looking at your conference and a handful of your non-conference games, mainly the ones that are going to generate money. So your tournaments and your ACC Big Ten challenges. And
dude,
those are
that might literally be it. I mean, you might literally
that's probably,
your holiday tournament, your conference challenge games, and that's it. And then you go into conference.
Because as of right now, we're operating under the assumption that the season's going to start on time. That means practice begins September 29th.
Right.
Your first set of games start November 10th or 11th. That's what
we still don't have an out-of-conference schedule, though, which makes me believe that they're altering some things behind the scenes.
There are some other options starting practice later into October, which puts the season in November. They're committed to playing this year.
Right.
Well, the ACC and some of those schools, we don't really know what the Big Ten and the Pac-12 are going to do about basketball. They've kind of been mum on the front, but the ACC is going to try their hardest to play basketball because that's the sport for them, which generates the most money. So you've got that going for you, but it's still, even if you're wanting to make up for last year, and if you're going to have teams that won 3 or 4 games competing for a championship, granted, they're not going to win a championship, but you're devaluing the product. You're taking away what it means to make the NCAA tournament. I mean, remember the outcome? They went from 64 to 68. People lost their mind.
Remember that.
Because you added
65 to 68.
Yeah,
remember you had one playing game.
Because you added the playing games. People just absolutely,
You're devaluing the regular season for 3 extra teams? Now in this case,
yes.
I mean, you would literally see an NBA-like.
Yeah, you would have people load management.
You would literally have moments where, okay, a guy like Garrison Brooks, well, we don't want to risk his, him not being 100% when we get to the postseason, so we're going to sit him out tonight.
Or you could have a situation, depending on how the tournament and the bracket's drawn, those 2 or 3 games, you probably wouldn't even need him to play. You could literally just sit him out until you get to the 64 part of the bracket, and then it's like, okay, well now he's got to play. So,
yeah, I'm not all in on that.
Love the idea of the coaches being united, and it was voted on unanimously. So that means there was not the person
What was that
unanimously.
Word? Unanimously.
It's not coming out the way I wanted to. But still not going to happen.
Let's also say this. We would be all for watching the game.
Yes.
We would be on that.
The amount of basketball intake I would have would probably send me into some sort of coma.
Now, the 1 versus 90 whatever matchup in the regions probably wouldn't be that great. I'd say you'd probably have to get into but some of those matchups in the middle with, the mid-30s and 40s teams, they'd probably be pretty good. That'd probably be worth watching. But that's not going to happen, so we don't have to worry about that. We just wanted to go over that as we talked about the potential changes of the season because... What a weird time we're living in, man. COVID is just bringing out... these are ideas that we had as, 6-year-olds.
Yeah.
In our bedroom,
this is
hanging out
fantasy world sports that
it's crazy.
They're now coming to life because... Well, we just don't really know what else to do. So, man, that was a lot of fun.
That was definitely one of the most fun podcasts.
We haven't done it in a while. That 30-some-odd minutes, it's flown.
It was fantastic, yeah.
The crazy thing is we sit here the day we record, we're less than 3 weeks away from the first day of practice.
Oh, my goodness.
If they start on time.
I wanted to say this when you brought that up. I think they are because there seems to be... Especially now at Carolina, there's a bubble around your sports programs. So I think now you've got a chance to at least practice. But this is what I'm going to tell people. Just because they're practicing, don't assume that means the season's starting on time. Because there will probably be some alterations to the schedule.
You're exactly right. But today we're less than 3 weeks away from them going out and trying to do some stuff for real because they try to prepare for, I made the comment in an article that I wrote about the breakout players. As important an offseason that Roy Williams has had since he came back to Chapel Hill. That's how big I think this is going to be, because the perception around the program, even though it was one down year for the first time since 2010, in a down year that year, they still went 20-17 and made the NIT final. Schools in this conference would kill for that kind of record, a la NC State.
Oh, dude, Pittsburgh, they'd be hanging a banner. Talking about
the perception around the program is not what it was the year after Kobe White and that squad went to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, no way.
So he has mentioned it in interviews. The drive is still there to coach and compete. He didn't take last year lightly. It was not just the players that hated the losing, us fans. He's talked about what losing does to him. He said the F word in a press conference. That shows you the amount of frustration.
He probably went about, I would guess a week without sleeping at one point.
There was nights he wasn't sleeping.
That's bad. Which we knew that from his book anyway, from reading it.
Exactly. So I think you're going to see a different motivated team. We won't get to see it in practice because we're not, of course, a part of the media and stuff like that. But you're going to see a different team this year because he won't allow what happened last year to allow again. But, man, with that, we're going to go ahead and shut this thing down. I'm going to let Anthony get you out of here about talking about the website, as we got a lot of football coverage on the Heel Tough Blog website.
You ain't even lying, man. First game of the season this Saturday in Kenan Stadium. So make sure that you guys are going on that website, checking all that great stuff out. We got the preview for you once the game is over, recap, trench report, stock report, all that stuff. Then we'll turn it over, get you guys ready for the Charlotte game, which Carolina will play the next weekend in Kenan Stadium. It should be very exciting. Of course, as we mentioned, we got the video podcast now going on for the Heel Tough blog. Make sure you go over, check that out on our Facebook page while you're there. Make sure that you like the Facebook page so that you'll get the notifications whenever we go live, whenever we're doing a Roy's Boys show. We're also going to have where when we premiere it, it'll tell you on there, if you like the page, that the page is going live. So you guys will be able to see all that kind of stuff as well. And there's, some light basketball coverage that's on there.
We're sprinkling some stuff in there.
When you get the news, you throw it up there. But for right now, it's really been football heavy. And also, that's the other thing that we do still want to say. I've thought about with the site is that we do cover basketball, but this was a site that was founded on football by myself. So naturally, there is, especially this time of year, a lot of football coverage.
And with Mac Brown coming back and taking over the things for football side of Carolina, there's a lot more excitement. There's a lot more energy. It's a lot more fun and interesting for us when we're writing.
If you're comparing it to the Larry Fedora era, I will say definitely.
Exactly. So I write as much football as you need me to, as I want to during this.
So one trench report a week.
Hey,
okay.
Hey, I pay my dues.
I think you wrote a recruiting article once. You wrote
I've wrote a Mac Brown extension article before.
Okay, you did that.
I wrote about potential non-conference
some of those
people.
You have done voluntarily.
I mean, sometimes it was either you write or you're fired. So I didn't want to get fired because I need this income to supplement my bills.
You had to write the Malik Hornsby article when he committed last year, who didn't end up committing to the team, by the way. But remember that we were on the way to, I think it was Martinsville. We were having to go up there to do something for work, and I was driving, so you had to write the article. You're a valuable part of this group, is what we're saying. I
love the football coverage.
Anybody that wants to replace him, there is a application that you can fill out online. Go on.
But I love the football coverage. I love talking football. I love writing football.
That's right.
But it was natural we were going to join our two stuff together because it just made the most sense. to have football coverage and basketball coverage, and it's worked out great.
At this point, most of the people that know us think we're going to join our lives together.
I have offered such things.
That did not need to be offered on the podcast, but okay.
We got polos coming. We're becoming official.
We're trying.
And it's been a lot of fun.
Oh, definitely, man.
I've been with you now, working together because we were doing stuff separately. For now, we've been together now over a year doing this thing.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of fun seeing the site grow as we were trying to innovate and try to keep up with modern stuff in a blog podcast format.
So you know what? We gotta shout out the people that make it possible.
Yeah.
Which is you guys at home that are listening to this, that watch the Heel Tough Blog Show, that listen to the Heel Tough Blog Show, that read the stuff on the site. Without you, we wouldn't be here. So yeah, I mean, feel free, tell your friends, if you're interested in sponsoring us, if you got a business, especially the small businesses, please reach out to us because we want to help you during this time because we know that it's a tough time. We want to be able to help your business grow. I mean, I know they probably don't need it now because I know they've gotten huge donations. If you haven't seen it yet, find that GoFundMe for Sutton's. Make sure that we keep that place open. Those are the types of places that we're trying to help keep open during this time. We're not going to squeeze you down for money. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for Tar Heel-owned businesses, Tar Heel-associated businesses that we can help grow their business and they can help grow.
Yeah, man. I was glad you got that out there because I was going to push that out there too about trying to still support Chapel Hill area.
Make sure, guys.
Tar Heel people. Carolina family extends further than whether you played for them or went to school there.
Yep.
And so, thank you for getting out there and, thanking all the people, the readers, the listeners. Y'all have done a great job really supporting us as we've started small and we're continuing to grow. He went on about the website. I'm going to tell you about the podcast. We want you to like and review the podcast. You can find me or you can find us on every major podcast platform, most certainly right here on Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Pandora. Give us a like, review me as the host, review Anthony as the co-host, Mark whenever he fills in, talk about some recruiting. Most encouraged. We encourage you guys to subscribe because that way you never miss an episode, and so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll greatly appreciate that as we continue to build this thing up and up. So with that, I'm going to sign off. Thank you, Anthony, for coming on, taking some time out of a busy work schedule. We are gearing up the football season and for work. We're getting to get busier. Talk a little Carolina basketball. We want to thank you guys for listening, and as always, go Tar Heels.